We are very much focused on accountability, something that's very, very frequently overlooked in the nightlife space.
I've seen your stores in malls. I've seen your stores on high street.
What separates us from most other people in this space is our, interest and insights that we provide and our attention to detail. When we start, we're always into stock keeping, always into ordering, always into cost management, waste management. These are the things we focus on because we look at it like a business. These are the main learnings that the original founders have had, and then they're passed on to me and my partner Rohan. And that is what we're trying to take forward. So I would think in the next 5 years, one big aim for us would be to do the few metros that we have not done. For example, Delhi, Mumbai are two metros that come to mind that we have not had a presence in. So I think that would be a priority for us. We have done a lot of tier 2 franchising, through the 2010s. But now we're looking at a situation where we're getting n number of requests from tier 3s, and we're figuring out how to meet and kind of scale into those markets as well. Accountability first, ensuring all the nitty-gritties are handled well, and then the business takes care of itself.
Today, probably most of you in India know what Tendowning Street is. Pre-COVID peak, I think they had more than 40 odd operational outlets. Some people call it a microbrewery, some people call it an English pub, some people call it as my chill out place. And we have so many sweet fond memories. And these friends of mine, Mohan, Vinod, such amazing people, the way they used to take care of people, the way they used to take care of customers, their employees. No wonder today, I would say, the brand recall is so high, and wherever they go, they have made a mark for themselves. And today, the next gen has come. I'm having with me son of one of the partners, Pranay. Pranay is Mohan's son, and now he's the boss now for Tendowning. So let me introduce him, and I don't know, probably this is the English way or the pub way. Hi, Pranay. How are you doing?
Well, thanks, Krishna Garu.
Yeah.
Glad to be part of the show and looking forward to going through the whole Tendi journey. It's always special hearing people like you talk about their first experience in Tendi. 1992 is almost 3 decades ahead. So
Absolutely. One more fond memory, probably, I don't know whether you would get it or not. We had the privilege of those days having credit when our money was over. We used to go to Mohan and say, Mohan, no money today, let me pay the next time.
Absolutely.
Your franchisee should pass that on to all the people coming to there.
We do that. We do that till today. I think those are the few things that maintains that relationship between guests and the brand. That's something which we hold very dearly.
One more thing which was very good, I think, which was your USP those days and which really caught on, was your afternoon lunches. 100 or 150 bucks, we used to get a glass of drink. Chinese cuisine, Indian cuisine, North Indian cuisine, and my favorite was chicken stroganoff. Even today, chicken stroganoff.
Correct.
I haven't eaten a better chicken stroganoff than your place anytime.
That's always good to know.
You're the first people to do that in India?
As far as I'm aware, we're the first to many things, this being one of them.
Ladies' night being one?
Ladies' night is one of them.
Wednesdays, right?
Correct.
The whole of Hyderabad probably was there.
Correct.
Call Vinod Amon and say, Vinod, Wednesday I want to be in. And your dress code, those days again, dress code.
It was a formal
shoes,
place.
Formal
It
shoes.
was a formal place.
These were some amazing processes or SOPs you had set. You had set a benchmark, I would say,
Correct.
for your particular segment of industry.
Absolutely.
And the reason why we are here, I'm telling you and the viewers also, is we are a platform for business opportunities. We wanted good brands like yours who have been there, done that, proven themselves, to come talk about your product, talk about your industry, talk about your franchise opportunity, where you want to expand, what you want to do, and what is the ideal franchisee you're looking at, what is the ideal store size you're looking for. And then once people see that and someone is interested in that particular city which you're looking for, you would approach us, then we will qualify them and tell them all about your product, then get them to a table where they sit with you and try to finalize the deal. Since you're in retail, the whole big part of this game is property.
Sure,
And
property is a big
so
part.
I have
Yes.
seen your stores in malls. I've seen your stores on high street. So
Okay.
probably if you can also explain what worked better for you, or are both the same at all, you could probably run through small information about store sizes and approximate investments, though detailing on a one-to-one you could do it better.
Correct.
And what are the prerequisites from a franchisee? I'm sure anyone, you will be getting hundreds of inquiries every
Sure.
month, but you're
We
not
do.
giving it, you're very selective in your process of
Correct.
identifying, shortlisting, and finalizing the franchisee.
Correct.
Again, another good friend of mine called Kitty, he took your franchise store in Chennai.
Correct.
He was amazing. He was an architect who started this. Vasan was his partner that time.
Correct.
Even today, the store it runs very well.
Correct.
So, talk more about your journey and what you're looking for, and add any inputs which I'd missed. Your awards, the hundreds of awards which you have got.
So to start with, 10 Downing Street, like you rightly said, was started by my dad, Mr. Mohan Ram Reddy, and his close friend and partner, Mr. Vinod Reddy and Prahlad Rao. So they had the concept as 20 something year olds to get into nightlife and bar business, right? So that's the business they got into. What they found interesting about the business was just about having fun and having a place, where people can come celebrate, have fun, have a good time, and go on. So they started this brand called Barrel House, I think back in, I'd like to say, the late 80s, which was more of a budget friendly brand that took off very well. This was located in a central part of Hyderabad called Panchagutta. Post seeing a lot of success from that particular business, they decided to scale up and start something much more fancy and really make a mark for themselves. That's when they came across a very famous architect duo called Siraj and Renu.
Oh yeah.
This was, I think, in the early 90s, maybe 1991. And they kind of planned to do a high end English bar, something that India had never seen. The reason they picked an English bar was because it eludes luxury. So they wanted to give the guests the feel of a very upscale high-end place, create aspirational value in society for being part of that culture, being part of that group of people who party and relax there. So that's how 10 Downing Street started. Like you rightly said, the first outlet was in 1992 in Secunderabad, which was a very happening part of the Twin Cities back in 1992. So that's how the journey began. From there, they had a lot of success, like you rightly said. Thousands of patrons have come and gone through those doors of Secunderabad. And then they've moved on. They've unfortunately very quickly had to move on to their second outlet because there was prohibition in the then combined Andhra Pradesh, because of which they kind of had to relocate to another location. So the next location they looked at was Pune, which is a city with a lot of youngsters, a lot of talent in terms of DJs. It was up and coming. It was a sister concern to Mumbai, so that's the reason they picked Pune. And the story has then gone on from there.
4 in Hyderabad and 9 currently operational in some other cities.
We have presence across India, mostly in southern and central India because we're a Hyderabad-based brand. We have a lot of outlets in Hyderabad. Pretty much every cardinal direction we have an outlet in Hyderabad. Apart from Hyderabad, we have Chennai and Kolkata, which are our metro outlets. And I'm proud to say that for a franchise brand, especially in bar space, we, I think, have over 5 or 6 outlets that have crossed the 5 year mark. We have 2 outlets that are crossing, or one has crossed the 20 year mark. Begumpet, which is the first outlet we started post lifting of prohibition, was started back in 2001. So we're looking at close to 24 years. And Chennai, which you mentioned earlier in the podcast, was started in 2006. So we're looking at the 20 year mark next year. In my humble opinion, I don't know if there are too many bar brands that go past those type of milestones. So very proud and humbled to be able to claim
All thanks to your
such
dad
feats.
and his partners who
Absolutely.
created this wonderful opportunity. In fact,
Absolutely.
again, a memory is One day I found Mohan and his friend Ram in a competitor's place. He was sitting there. I asked him, "What, Mohan, your place? You're sitting here." So he says, "What? My place, every day I go there. I have to check my competition." So
Correct.
that's how hands-on Mohan was.
Correct. And I think back in the way, there was a sort of camaraderie. There were only two, three premium places other than 10 Downing Street. And I think Dad and the founders of the other places were, and good, they were good friends and they kind of built that whole industry together. And I'm proud to say that we're still standing here 25, 30 years later.
My research on the net somewhere showed that you have some libraries in your thing.
We have what's called the Churchill Den,
Mhm.
obviously named
Interesting.
after Winston Churchill because we're a British themed bar.
True that.
So the Churchill's Den is basically our take on a family section.
Mhm.
So it kind of has the feel of an old school British, I wouldn't say library, but we have a bookshelf element, a fireplace element, and your typical luxury seating that you'd see in an old British bar. Chesterfield sofas, things like that.
Absolutely.
So that is what you're alluding to there.
Today there are about last count about 65,677 bars in India,
Uh-huh.
out of which I think very few are in the organized sector. Only about 11% are chains.
Sounds about right.
Remaining about 89% are just not the right word, maybe a mom and pop store kind of a thing.
Sure.
Where in their city they've been there and all. So, what's your USP? If I have to choose a franchise, why should I choose a 10 Downing franchise?
So the way we look at franchising and we look at the business is that first and foremost, we tell our franchisees that they have to treat it like a business, right? It's not a place you start to have fun. That shouldn't be the primary goal of starting any business, not just nightlife business. You have to look at like a serious business. You have to have the business acumen. You have to have the ability to handle and operate, albeit with a lot of assistance that we do from 0 to 100. But it needs to be run like a business. You need to have a passion for hospitality. You need to have a passion and interest, like you rightly pointed out, to make sure you know your guests, to serve the right food, to ensure the consistency, ensure the drinks are flowing, ensure operationally everything is sound. So I think what separates us from most other people in this space is our, interest and insights that we provide and our attention to detail. We are very much focused on accountability, something that's very, very frequently overlooked in the nightlife space. Our accountability is what starts and ends our operation. When we start, we're always into stock keeping, always into ordering, always into cost management, waste management. These are the things we focus on because we look at it like a business. 2.5 decades into owning this business, that these are the main learnings that the original founders have had, and then they've passed on to me and my partner Rohan. And that is what we're trying to take forward, right? Accountability first, ensuring all the nitty-gritties are handled well, and then the business takes care of itself.
Next 5 years, where all you want to be, how many stores, what's your game plan, how many of your own, how many franchise, which all cities? Tell us your phase-wise expansion plan which you're looking at.
So, like I told you earlier in the podcast, we are more a South and Central India dense brand, being that we started in South India and we're making our way up north geographically. So, I would think in the next 5 years, one big aim for us would be to do the few metros that we have not done. For example, Delhi, Mumbai are two metros that come to mind that we have not had a presence in. So, I think that would be a priority for us. And outside of that, now India is built into a market, like you rightly said, there are 65,000 something bars in the country, and 10 of which you said were organized. Maybe 10% of the 10% are actually name brands or chain brands, if you may call them. So I think there's a lot of potential for us to expand into tier 2 and now even tier 3. We have done a lot of tier 2 franchising, through the 2010s. But now we're looking at a situation where we're getting n number of requests from tier 3s and we're figuring out how to meet and kind of scale into those markets as well.
I think I saw you thing in a pub in Indore, if I remember correctly. You're
Correct.
there. You're there in what are the other tier two cities which you're currently?
So
You're
tier two, we have a good amount of presence in tier two. Again, coming to South India, we're present in Vijayawada.
Mhm.
It's I think a 7 to 8 year old business. We're present in Coimbatore, which is again a 7 to 8 year old business. Like you were talking about in Central India and Madhya Pradesh, we have Indore and Bhopal, which are both well past 10 years at this point. I think they're closing in on about 15 years in a year or so. So we have a lot of tier two presence.
and mall versus high street.
Mall versus high street is a very interesting question. Now, that really depends on the city. Like you've said, we've had success in both formats. We have Bhopal that we just spoke about has been, it's a mall format. It's been around for about 15 years or so.
Mhm.
And we have a lot of high street formats as well that have worked very well for us. So it really depends on the location. It really depends on the size of the space that we want to set up, the expected business that we think we'll generate, and then we take a call based on rentals and other commercials as to whether we go into a mall or a high street.
Ideal store size, ideal space required for this.
So our ideal space required, again, I can talk in terms of range. We range from about 4,000 to 5,000 square feet, which are our smallest stores, upwards to about 10,000 square feet and beyond. It again depends on that particular local market, what type of business we're expecting, whether we want to do a brewery or not. In some cases, we do choose to go a brewery route. That would require a certain space. Even regulation in certain states mandates 10,000 square feet for breweries. So there are various factors, but we're very flexible when it comes to space because it really depends on what type of business we expect, what type of real estate we're located in, and those are the factors that determine the size.
Operational support.
Our operational support is pretty end to end, Krishna, right from site selection to putting together the design of the place, figuring out how much it will cost to budget the entire fit outs, connecting you with either our vendor network, which is very extensive, or you can bring in your own vendors and we day to day, week to week guide them on how to execute the project through our design partners. And then we help in recruitment of the entire staff. We train them in various outlets or at the premises itself based on their particular role and responsibilities and level, seniority level. And then when it comes to actually starting off the business, we're very hands-on. We kind of plan the launch. We do the menu planning and strategy of what the pricing should be. We're not fixed on what pricing should be like maybe certain MNCs. We're very flexible. Depending on the local market, our prices can change to as much as 20%. Right? So these are the various factors. So we're basically a very end-to-end solution. We typically operate in a franchise-owned, franchise-operated model, but we'd like to call it a franchise-owned, company-assisted because we are very hands-on with all the assistance that's required, and we kind of train our franchise partner to become a veteran bar owner, over the course of the first year or so.
With most of the marketing moving on to social media nowadays, is that the platforms, celebrity influencers, is that what you're using nowadays for promotion of your?
So in our particular space, celebrities per se, I don't know if they have an ROI that we can justify, but we do work a lot with micro influencers, which are more, targeted towards the younger crowd, spread a wider and more specific kind of message across because there'd be a ladies' night that I'd want to promote in a particular outlet. There may be a pub lunch that I want to promote in another outlet. So we can't do a pan India sort of campaign. It's more outlet specific.
Mhm.
So we kind of get micro influencers to take care of the needs of that business during that particular period. So we prefer doing that type of marketing.
Generally, not only for your brand, for any brand which is a multi-outlet brand, whether it could be a franchised or a company store, moreover. One of the USPs is volume buying. And do you have also brand tie-ups?
Mhm.
Would you have something like that where, because you have so many outlets, the volume you pick up is more, so you get a better discount over the product which you're buying, which you pass on to the franchisee? Is that an advantage of taking your franchise?
That definitely is one of the advantages. In
Mhm.
India, liquor is basically a state subject. So the volumes we're buying kind of has to be accounted for at a state level. That being said, we have tie-ups with all the major liquor brands. And when we open a new 10 Downing Street, we kind of pull in funds from all our strategic partners who would help us with the launch support and would also help us with events, activations, and marketing over the course of the business. So this is something that definitely is a big advantage when you go with a chain, specifically with chains like us, which have had relationships with the larger liquor brands. Like if I can give you an example, one of the attendees in Hyderabad, the Begumpet location, was the one that launched Smirnoff in Hyderabad. Right? We have certain tie-ups that have going so far back that when Smirnoff came to India, they launched it in Hyderabad with our venue, right? So there are many things we do like that, because of which we have a mutual understanding, not only with liquor players. It can either be with a soft beverage person, anyone into tobacco. We have strategic partnerships with all of them. They get brand visibility through our outlets, and we get various marketing and event help from them.
Ideal franchisee, man or a woman, 30 or a 60, full time, part time. Who's your ideal franchisee for you?
So again, there's a wide mix, Krishna. I mean, we have people in their mid to late 20s who are franchise partners with us. We have people who are closing in on 60, 60 plus who are franchise partners with us. Man or woman, I don't think makes any difference to our line of work. I mean, it's very gender neutral. We are looking for someone who has the business acumen to start with to run a business. We're talking about businesses that are 4-5 crores and up to set up. So it is a serious business. That's number one. Two, we're looking for people who have a deep passion for hospitality. They need to have interest in food and drinks. It that's what kind of resonates most with us. When we have people who are interested in running a bar or a restaurant, we need to see that spark in them. And number three, we need people who want to look at this as a long-term business and not just something that they're doing, for the fun of it. Because for us, it's a serious business and we expect the same seriousness brought to the table from the franchisee. So these are the three things we look at typically. And generally speaking, beyond that, they need to align with our vision for what F&B is, for what 10 Downing Street is. So these are the main criterias for potential franchisee.
Though you can't predict the future, but on an average, what could be a payback period for an investment?
Typically speaking, the range that we have seen over the course of years is as less as 1.5 to 2 years.
Wow.
And it can go to about 4 years plus as well. But typically speaking, we think a healthy ROI is anywhere between the 3 to 4 year mark, with all things considered, investment back in hand.
3 to 4 years.
3 to 4 years is what we think is healthy. Many instances we've done it before.
Ideally, your EBITDA would be around 20-22%.
Yeah, typically speaking, in the nightlife space, it's about 20 to 25% is the net profit you can look at. That's again, we structure it such that each outlet is positioned, be it rentals, be it any other manpower costs, F&B costs, along with any discounts that we can get through the brand, through our chain of vendors or strategic partners. We kind of ensure that you always see that 25 to 30% type of a figure. But again, it really depends on the location. It really depends on how we look at opening a business, because a lot of businesses are opened in high density, high footfall regions where we expect a life of say 5 to 7 years with quick ROIs. And certain other times we'd open in a tier 2 or tier 3 where we'd be the market leader or the market opener in that segment. There, the ROI can be a little longer, but then again, you're looking at a 10 to 15 to maybe even 20-year business at times. So it really depends on what we're shooting for. Are we shooting for a highly dense area, or are we looking to open up a new market or a new location?
You used to do a lot of live music. Bands used to come and play. City specific, are you still doing that? Do you have some brands coming and playing? I think in your new place in Hyderabad, you have this some days where the local language bands, which have become a huge
They've become a
hit now.
huge rate, yes. Regional
So
bands.
you still do that? You're doing that?
We have regional bands in certain locations. When we design a business, we kind of take a decision on how we want to set it up. Because live bands versus having a DJ require very different interiors, spacing, and alignment of the whole space. So there's certain places where we only look at running it like more of a high energy bar and less of a live music oriented place. And there's certain places, like you rightly pointed out, one of our new locations in Hyderabad has a huge terrace, and that was designed for live entertainment and a more laid back and chilled out space, whereas the indoor is more DJ focused and high energy. So we kind of shuttle between both. We started off as a high energy place because outdoor dining was not really a thing 3 decades ago, at least in India. And now we've kind of taken that into our stride as well. So now we typically design locations where we have the option of an alfresco or a terrace to give both elements of nightlife, which is your laid back dining versus more high energy partying.
Something like your new store in Hyderabad, the new outlet you have in Hyderabad.
Most of our recent places, we're making sure we have an alfresco or terrace option.
Any other points you would like to add to this, which could add probably a value to a guy who wants to come and become your franchise?
See, the way I look at it, the typical person who gets into any new industry is better off dealing with people or organizations that have already done it. So my recommendation to anyone who wants to get into F&B would first be to understand what it is that they want out of this venture, right? You need to look at it. Are you looking at it as a serious business? Are you looking at to invest, get a return on your money and someone else manage it? The various factors you need to look at. So once you consider all those factors, that is when you need to pick and choose, which brand you would go with, or in those rare cases, if you really want to start off something that doesn't exist in the market, maybe that's the only reason you would want to start your own without any potential help.
So, viewers, just to sum up the whole thing, correct me if I'm wrong in any of this. Pranay is looking for people like you, cities like Mumbai, city like a Bangalore, city like a Delhi. Also, with his experience in Tier 2, Tier 3, been there, done that proness concept. Any good city where you are from, where you feel there's a potential for such kind of investment, such kind of a concept, and you feel you have the whether it's Pranay, whether it's Tandowning or anything, 50% is he, 50% is you, who would ultimately determine the success. He is giving you a platform where people know they walk in. After they walk in, would they walk in again the second time, the 10th time, the 100th time? Depends on how you are operating, because he would help you out, handhold you, but you're the guy who's there day in, day out running the operation. So you're equally important and you are equally responsible for the how big or how successful you are in the future. Fantastic brand, fantastic human beings, his dad, his partners and all. So if you feel this is the right brand for you, you can approach us through the mobile number displayed here. You can comment. We would be touring all cities. Once we feel you're the right lead, we'll probably come to your place. We welcome you to come here and experience the place along with us. We both are in Hyderabad. So his HO is in Hyderabad. So you please come down here and experience the place, talk to the existing franchisees, see what's happening, and take a call. And thanks a lot, Pranay. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. Very enjoyable being part of your first podcast.
The pleasure is all mine. So hopefully, again, let's hope to meet soon with some of these people who hopefully would sign up and travel the journey along with you.
Yep, looking forward.
All the best, and whatever queries are coming, I'll pass it on to you. Let's discuss. And as a podcaster, I would also like to say that we are not only just introducing the brand, we are going to till your store is launched and beyond. We are there with you, with whoever brand or whoever investors or franchisees are coming in, and you want help in site selections. Obviously, with their guidance, our teams could come and do that. Interiors, funding, debt. There are teams who could do some or all of these services for you. You're interested? Get in touch with us. Hope to see you all soon on this wonderful place called the 10 Downing. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Yeah.